Okay, we are back in Sentinels the Multiverse, and it's time to walk the line in the Ring of Fire. Deep beneath the surface of the Earth, our heroes find themselves caught between a probability-bending villain and a horde of increasingly angry Magmarians. Kismet's talisman has been imbued with the power of this place, and it burns, burns, burns. So we need shattered timelines for... Is it Kismet who comes in that one? Because Vengeance mode should be Naturalist and Knife. And also Setback, now that I think about it. Actually, all four of these. Huh. Yeah, those should all be Vengeance characters. And then it's a Villains of the Multiverse environment, if I remember correctly. So yeah, Shattered Timeline's gotta be what Kismet's in. But anyway, this is Challenge Edition Kismet, and I'll show what she does in a second. But overall, it's not really that bad. On Challenge mode, she's not too dangerous if you play around the talisman correctly. Poor little lost heroes. It looks like your luck has just run out. Preliminary investigations have shown this will be a tough fight. So if I forgot to point this out, who I'm using. We have Rook City Wraith, Fugue State Parse, Hunted Naturalist, Setback, and Knife. So no variants for those two, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And then two of my favorite variants in the game, so that's always a plus. Anyway, if you're wondering how she works, she has her charm scoundrel side up when she enters play. She'll summon the talisman. Start of the villain turn, if she still has the talisman, then she stays on this side. She blasts everything for 1 psychic damage. Whenever a hero target deals another hero target 4 or more damage, a Jinx gets popped. Hopefully we don't have to do that, but you never know. At the end of the villain turn, the top card of the villain deck is revealed. If it's a lucky card, it goes into play. If not, it's shuffled into the deck. Now, with Wraith and Parse, you can pretty much guarantee it's never going to be a lucky card. So just keep that in mind. Now, because this is Challenge Kismet, the Burning Talisman is in effect. So at the start of each hero's turn, if they hold the talisman, they take hero fire damage, in this case, 5. On her flip side, she is the Deranged Miscreant. She shoots at the talisman to try to get it back. Go figure, I don't quite get the whole logic, but sure. So at the end of the villain turn, she heals for each lucky card in play, and then she hits the guy with the highest HP for X psychic damage, where X equals 9 minus the HP of the talisman. So as the talisman gets lower, she becomes increasingly more dangerous. And then this is when the Burning Talisman comes into play. It's not going to be as much of an issue here, unless someone gets it before they, before she actually flips, and before they act. Now as for the talisman itself, when it's reduced to 0 HP, it flips. When it flips, it goes to the guy with the highest HP, and then... Does it have the... Okay, it only has a power on this side, which makes sense because this is when it's in your possession. You get to use this kind of like extrasensory awareness, except extrasensory is better. So anyway, 1 psychic damage across the board except for Setback, because they're nemesis. If you notice the whole die marker there, Lady Luck comes into play, which is what kind of makes this annoying. So if you don't know how this works, when a villain card will be destroyed, reveal the top card of the villain deck. If it's lucky, it goes into play. If it's not, it's sacrificed to protect this card. So when you want to destroy this, you want to make sure that she does have a lucky card on top. It's going to put it into play, but it's a little bit better. Now you always do have the option to just completely ignore this. Just keep in mind, I believe this would activate when you try to kill her, or if you try to kill her with Cornered Beast. Something like that, it'll work. Anyway, let's use the infrared eyepiece. We'll use that on her. So, Shaky Arm. This goes to the person with the most cards in play, which will be Parse. This goes for the person with the most cards in hand, so yeah, we want Shaky Arm on top. Draw Razor Ordnance, as well as another infrared eyepiece. So we'll put the Ordnance out next turn. Right here we're going to put out the extrasensory awareness, and since I want to get that Shaky Arm on Parse, and she's not going to attack anything, we're going to use her base power, Neural Processing. That gives us Gauge, we draw Exploit Vulnerability, and now she has 2 while everyone else has 1. For Naturalist, we're going to play his Rhino form so he can tank, and we're going to use the Rhino's power to draw 2 cards. We're looking for environmental allies. Now as for Setback, we're going to put out the Silver Lining, and we are going to take a risk. And since I so rarely play him, I should probably explain his cards, because even I'm not completely familiar with all of them. Silver Lining is his resurrection card. If he's going to be knocked out, you get to remove your tokens, and then that becomes your HP. Then you destroy this. So if you can get a lot of tokens, you're golden. As for the card that was just played, that was Karmic Retribution. If you have less than 7 tokens, you remove one of those, heal for 2. If you have 7, then you pop someone for 7. Now for Knife, we're going to play the Conduit Blade so we deal more damage, and then we will use her base power so we don't have to destroy the Conduit. So we deal her 3 damage. First Blood for our team. Technically, the villain will almost always have First Blood. So out comes Fiery Crystallization. If you don't know, this turns all of your equipment cards into magma crystals, and it makes the Magmarians belligerent. So yeah. So Shaky Arm should have went to Parse. She drew another Shaky Arm, but it's not going to do anything. So anyway, we want to play the Razor Ordnance. I'm going to completely ignore the environment, in case you're wondering. If you want to know, it's filled full of crystalloid behemoths. We're going to tank their damage just to speed through her. So anyway, we want to exploit vulnerability to deal with those behemoths, and then we're going to use extrasensory awareness because we need to watch out for unlucky breaks. So, right here... Now, actually it doesn't matter, these are both jinxes. 2 left feet is going to be less severe because it's going to go for the guy with the fewest cards in play, which should be the Naturalist if we play this correctly. So whenever you play a card, the hero damages themselves, which will be nullified by the Rhino form. We do not want to shuffle her deck, she shuffles it enough on her own. As for Naturalist, we want to do Indomitable Force. And I'm just going to keep using Rhino form so I can try to find the environmental allies. So keep in mind when the Behemoth comes out, that means Naturalist is going to take quite a bit of damage. Just sucks. So we're going to do Uncharmed Life. I can pop that later for health, but if you don't know, you get to move tokens to have Setback absorb damage. And then the power from this is heal, destroy the card. Nothing special or fancy or anyway. But let's take a risk. So we will destroy, like we... Actually, no, it's 2 Jinx cards. Because for the Fiery Crystallization... Let's leave the Crystallization out, because that's only going to matter if there's a Magmarian here, isn't it? And the Behemoths are not Magmarians. They're Magma Crystals. Okay. So yeah, let's pop Lady Luck. And then Naturalist will tank that for us. Oh, right, it has to be a lucky card. I keep forgetting that. Oh well. So let's do the Prime Punch. We will actually start punching her. Out comes the Behemoth. That's going to rock everything. So they're going to keep asking about this. I wish there was a way to just turn off Uncharmed Life in particular. To explain why this even works, in case you're wondering, if you had Looking Up out, that will damage you if you have too many tokens. So this is like a way to dissipate tokens before they get out of control. So Naturalist will absorb all of this, but they're going to keep asking us for this text. Weak Heart comes out, goes next to the Hunted Naturalist. So that doesn't really matter because Rhino's going to absorb that anyway, so... yeah. So right here we'll play the targeting computer so we deal 2 more damage per shot, and we're going to keep swinging into Kismet. So the Behemoth attacks you whenever you use a power. Naturalist will absorb that for a good portion, but eventually it's not going to work anymore. So right here we're going to get crit multi-out, so whenever we discard we don't have... well, we get a bonus from it. And right here... so let's see, this will be 2... and this is going to hit each hero target. So we'll get rid of Violent Trickster. We'll put Weak Heart on top since we can deal with that, and we'll leave the deck alone. So right here we can get Cornered Beast out in case she gets low enough. So I could... Well, we know those are Jinx cards in her deck, so I can't pop this. And unfortunately, Lady Luck will keep activating. So I don't really want to mess with her as she currently is. So let's just keep drawing, I guess. Why did that hit him? Oh, this does more for the Jinxes in play. So let's exceed expectations. We will get rid of 1 token so we can hit her for 4 because of Nemesis bonus. We'll take a risk. Friendly fire. Oh my god, seriously. So let's use Energy Burn on Kismet. This will deal +1 on both attacks. You do not want Setback to take this because he should take increased damage because of the Conduit Blade. And then we will just punch her. In case you're wondering, the punch will be better if you had something like Inspiring Presence or something to help just boost your damage. Exploit Vulnerability, if I were to do it to an environment target, would work. It's just I'm not interested. So out comes the next Behemoth. That is going to cause the Talisman to flip, and Knife is going to catch it from the look of things. So, can I get my thumb on the N key? Out comes Weak Heart, goes to the Naturalist, and still it's not really going to do much for her. So right here I could use the Smoke Bombs, it's just I don't think Naturalist is going to get hit. So right there we got rid of the Duplicate Ordnance and the card I'll probably never use. Keep in mind, if you hit Setback, he will take increased projectile damage. So it's just something to remember. So I'm going to use Between the Lines here on Naturalist. We are going to have him... Like, I'm thinking Gazelle and go Crafty Assault. It's going to be a little painful for him, but should benefit us in the long run, I want to say. Actually, if I don't play anything, I could go for this. That will heal me, I get to deal some damage. So, yeah. So I'm gonna play this. Then I can use this. So for these, it doesn't matter. Now I shouldn't actually be taking damage here because the Rhino component should have activated. There it goes. That might be a glitch. So let's get rid of imminent destruction. We'll put this on top in case I want to pop this, which I might want to. So what I'm thinking is right here I'll use the primal charge. The other possibility is I could actually look into going for a Predator's Eye and going for the kill on her. So we'll go crafty. Hit this. We'll give this to knife. So we know she has a lucky card. And then we can get rid of one of these weak hearts just so she has less jinxes out. So right here we want to go into the Gator form. Then we're going to play Primal Charge. So I got another Indomitable Force, I got Environmental Allies. And all of my parts should be active, so we can go ahead and hit her twice. So right here we can cash out her 1. Gives me Reckless Rush. We'll go down the line here. We do not need the infrared eyepiece. Soon there is a magma crystal here. Don't need to reveal the flaws. We will give this to knife. Don't need a second blend in the pack, it's limited. And I can afford to get rid of the incidental contact on her. So, let's take a risk. We drew Looking Up. And then we can hit her because we're nemesis. So right here we want to use Amplified Combatant because we can flip the talisman back. But your first shot is going to have the crit multi attached to it if you did what I did, so you want that one to go there. Second one into the talisman. This will knock it low enough for the next behemoth to flip. And then you want to make sure the behemoth dies. Could have killed the behemoth here, but I'm willing to just take the damage. Doesn't really matter. This is ending next round anyway. Shaky Arm, didn't see who that went next to. Ooh, Karmic Disjunction. But it's not lucky, so it goes back in. Okay, so the Shaky Arm is on Parse. So we're going to play the Stun Bolt in the event somehow this doesn't end right here. Oh crud, I pushed the wrong button. Oh well. Meant to use the Ordnance, but it really doesn't matter. So we're going to use Syntactic on Naturalist. We will put this into play. We're going to use this even though it's not really going to do anything. So you want to mark her. It's going to expire. We're going to pass on the card draws so we can hit her for full. And then she's low enough for Cornered Beast to finish her. Let's see what's on the bottom. Data mining. So let's get rid of that, and we will get rid of that. So we will blend into the pack and activate Cornered Beast. So overall, not that hard. I'd have higher hit points if I paid a little bit more attention and didn't waste the Naturalist turn early, but this one, it's not really that complicated. It's a bit refreshing, and like I said, if you pay a little bit more attention, you should be able to get through this with higher hit points. But yeah, I can't really think of anything else to say. This is... I want to see real quick. Oh yeah, it's the third week in a row now where we have not had a basic game. So we'll have to see if next week if we have an advanced, a challenge, an ultimate, or what exactly. We can see that challenge is starting to become the new norm. I mean, this is like half the games in the past 3 months. Wow. So yeah, calling it quits here. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.